Hello there, and welcome to episode number 71 of Horribly Off Topic. I am Chris, and that man over there is drinking.
Is Steve.
He's Steve. Hold on. Mine's a raspberry lime sparkling water. I don't know why I'm like even more of a lightweight this week than normal. I think it's because I came in and I was so angry. I thought if I have something...
Have a depressant that you might actually calm down.
No, that I might just get belligerent and
no one gets belligerent after one drink.
I don't know. Well, I was already belligerent, so my belligerence might be amplified.
Amplified. Belligerence. That's
after one drink or after a couple drinks.
I have no idea. Shut up.
Yeah, I will.
Good.
But if I shut up, then you got to do this show yourself.
Okay, cool. It's the
right.
Steve Show today. Hey, everybody. This is what happens when it's just me.
How's it going? You enjoying doing the show yourself?
No, let's do it together.
Let's do it together. Okay. All right. There's a. What would happen if I were run over by a bus?
I'd have to find somebody else, or I'd have to figure out how we do this. Oh no,
no, it's all right. So I mean, if I were run over by a bus, I think the first question would be, were the microphones run over with me? Because there is a third microphone that you donated to the cause.
I feel weird about like rummaging through your house trying to get the microphones.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I'd need to find another straight man.
Another straight man.
I don't think I'm loud enough. Am I loud enough?
Well, bring it a little closer, and you don't have to lean into it. But yeah, I mean, when you go like too far away, it gets a little.
I'm sorry. Is that loud enough?
That's good. Yeah, I mean, are you saying like you couldn't do it with a gay man? You said you needed a straight man.
No, you're mistaking my words. I've never in comedy. Are you familiar with that concept?
I am not familiar with comedy.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
I've never once been funny in my life, Steve. It's kind of like
that's why you are the straight man in this situation. You are the person that's not funny, but you're occasionally funny. Sometimes,
I mean, so like when that happens in comedy, when the straight man is funny, does that completely fuck things up? I mean, when I'm talking to my students about storytelling and stuff, I say sometimes when expectations are shattered, it's a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing. So when I'm funny, is it a bad thing or a good thing?
I think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing
because it's like people aren't expecting it, so it takes them off guard, and so they think it's extra funny.
Got it. Like somebody telling me that I'm the hottest guy in the room.
Well, that's not. Yeah, that's something.
That's expectation shattering and therefore funny.
Yes,
because we've all seen a photo. Actually, not everyone. Well, there used to be a photo of us on the cover art for the show, but not so much anymore. So they'd have to do.
I didn't like that. Sorry, throw a bubble. I didn't like that picture. That's why I was like, we need to change that. And then you made a new logo. So
logo. It's a good logo.
You are just like you're just like an angsty boy today. I made a new logo.
I'm fucking angry. I spent the morning yelling at my computer over. I don't want to get too much into it because it's all
just get into it. Whatever.
It's all technical, boring bullshit. But so I work on the one of the classes I teach is the magazine production class, which the end result of which is a literary magazine for the college, and the print version of it is something I've been doing for years. I've been doing it since the mid '90s when I started going to college myself. But the electronic version of it is a bear, and I mastered it over the last couple of years in one program that I was using. But I wasn't a fan of that program for all the other stuff I did, so I moved to a different program.
Did I just make a mistake by saying explain it all?
I'm trying to be yes. I'm trying to wrap this up as quickly as possible. So I moved to a different program that I liked a lot, that worked for every little thing that I have needed to do for the last year. And then when it came time to do this one task that I do once a year, I've bumped up against every single fucking thing that could possibly go wrong is going wrong. I still have the old program. I still have the thing that worked perfectly for this particular task for the last couple of years, but I was so just absolutely set on making it work in this new thing that I've been using, making this one new thing work for everything that that I was yelling, I was punching my desk. I was about 2 seconds from putting my fist through the screen of my computer. And,
Do you have that kind of strength?
Well, no, I probably just would have broke my hand.
Yeah. I don't think you would have punched through the screen. I think you might have just damaged the screen slightly.
Yeah,
and then hurt your hand.
Hurt myself. And of course, that wouldn't be good because I have no health insurance to fix my hand.
Well, you're in Massachusetts now. Maybe you can apply for what's-it.
Oh, yeah. Well, not to. I'm not going to go off on that tangent. No, I mean, I've looked at health insurance and it's not practical.
No, I'm not talking about health. You can go through Mass Health.
Yeah, it's not practical.
It's not practical?
No, I mean it costs.
No. I'm saying they give you health insurance because you don't make enough money.
Oh, they did for a little while, and just the other day they did for my daughters for a little while, and just the other day they sent us a bill. So now I have another bill that I have to somehow find money for. So that's one more reason that I'm an angsty little bitch right now is that they were giving in the same way that New Hampshire helped us out, and New Hampshire gave us insurance for my kids for the last few years. Massachusetts did for the first few months we were here.
Thanks, Obama.
And now they want money. Now they want like $56 a month.
That's not unreasonable.
That's not unreasonable for the two kids. And so I don't have $56. I have to figure out where it's coming from in my budget and what.
You guys want to donate $56 a month to his Patreon so his kids can have health insurance?
No, I mean, I'll figure.
So we can not have this conversation again?
Yes. Donate $56 so we don't have to have this conversation again. Not for the other thing. Speaking of which, we did get a donation this week, which was awesome. Thank you very much to the person who did it. I didn't ask them if they minded being mentioned by name, but thank you.
So maybe next time, if said person doesn't mind, then we'll do it like a little Christmas show. Thanks.
Yes.
And Merry Christmas.
Happy
holidays. And blah blah blah. We had our direct decorations up. We did a little decorating the other night.
That I think we were in the middle of that last week when I came over here to record. So I think
so. It was like you like because like Becky was great. She didn't like be like, hey, let's have everything hung up immediately after Thanksgiving. We had a little bit of time so we could do it together.
Right.
So we did it on Friday evening when it was just the two of us. And I mean, we have a teeny little tree.
Yeah, but it's
the present that I already got her that I needed to wrap in like 5 minutes, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But like it's big. The present is almost bigger than the tree.
Yeah, it's a pretty big. It's a pretty big present.
But it's also a small tree.
Yeah. Like my grandmother had when she lived up on the floor that my family and I are living right now. She had a smallish tree for a little while. We ended up putting up our tree that we've always had, which meant clearing out some space. I didn't think we were going to put up a tree at all because we're upstairs from my parents and my mom has a great big tree. But I think it makes Stephanie and the kids feel a little bit more at home even though it's a smaller space, to have some space for our Christmas decorations. So it looks nice. I'm glad to have that stuff up there, and hopeful that I can get past all of the crap that I was just talking about, so that I can begin enjoying the season. Because right now,
you mean the season where people are stressed out the most?
Yeah.
Let me just enjoy this lovely season.
Yeah. No, I mean I've already, the holiday season hasn't been my favorite in years. My kids even say to people at random, will say, my dad hates Christmas.
My dad's the Grinch. He wants to steal Christmas and molest Cindy Lou Who.
I don't think the Grinch was after. I mean,
isn't that what he did? I haven't seen it in a while.
I think he gives her a glass of water and he pats her on the head and sends her off to bed. I don't think he does anything untoward towards.
Just because he didn't mean he did. Well, wait. Just because he didn't, that doesn't mean he didn't want to.
Okay. But
I mean, you saw the look on his face, right?
okay, but aren't we what we do, not what we aren't you know?
Thought police. We should all be arrested for things that we might think of
that
doing.
we might. Oh, so like what's that?
I mean,
is a Mission Possible or Jerry Maguire? What's that Tom Cruise one?
No, it was called Minority Report.
Yeah, that's the one.
Or you were just being a jerk and saying a bunch of movies that weren't it. Is that what?
No, actually, I couldn't remember the name of it, so I was doing a bit.
They got a TV show on Fox that's based on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Also called Minority Report?
Yes, apparently it's. Well, I don't know. I haven't watched it, but it's not.
Got to remake everything, Steve.
I don't know if they needed to remake a movie that wasn't great.
No.
Into a TV show that's also not great.
Well, you got the only choices now are to remake something great or remake something dumb, and
what was it? I watched a lot of the Red Letter Media guys. They do that show Half in the Bag where they sit and drink and talk about movies. And they were talking about American Ultra, which was that movie with what's his butt and what's her butt.
Oh yeah, what's her butt? She's in the one with Shit
Twilight
for Brains.
Movies.
What?
She's in the Twilight movies.
Oh wait, no, she is Shit for Brains. So Shit for Brains and what's her butt are the same person, right?
What?
Is she in the movie with what's her ass?
I don't even know what you're saying.
So what's her butt and what's her ass? They're in the movie that takes place.
See, this is what happens when you try to be funny.
I'm not trying.
Oh.
Well,
because you weren't succeeding.
Kristen Rod Stewart.
Stop it! Stop trying to be funny. Stop forcing it. It'll come eventually. You'll say something
That's
funny.
What she said.
Yes, that's also what she said. Stop trying to be funny, Chris. You just gotta ease into it. I'm saying no,
that is what
I'm looking out for you here, man. I'm looking out for you. You're like jokes. One of these will get a laugh. Yuckity. Nope.
Maybe the fact that the jokes are so painfully bad will get a laugh because everyone will be laughing at the fact that Chris is trying to be funny so hard, and they'll just be awkwardly laughing.
No.
And a laugh, any laugh,
no
laugh.
You want people to laugh at what you're saying, not at you.
Yeah, I'll take either.
See, I'm not okay with that. I think that's probably what ended me its stand up a little bit early. Well, that and the stuff we've already gone over.
Right.
In previous episodes, it was probably episode 2 or 3. Check that out if you want to listen to stuff that I've already talked about. Hey, I'm not going to say it again like we normally do. But yeah, I didn't want to pander to the audience, which is something that I think you need to do a little bit as a stand-up, not necessarily completely change who you are, but you have to adjust to slightly.
Right.
And if it still doesn't work, then fuck them. They're a shitty audience.
Yeah. I think I probably pander to my audience as a teacher and as a storyteller from time to time. So I don't know. I guess I'm more of a whore when it comes to.
Okay, so back to American Ultra.
American Ultra.
They did their
Kristen Stewart
had half in the bag review of that and what's the guy that wrote it, Max Landis.
Okay.
Who is the son of John Landis.
Right. Who directed Thriller and stuff. No, wait. Is that the guy? Same guy?
I think it might have been Thriller, but he made some movies here and there.
Okay.
Some of them were successful.
So Max Landis. Yeah.
Some of them were successful. Some of them were The Stupid, starring Tom Arnold. Which we rented, by the way.
And unfortunately,
back in the Blockbuster days, I was determined to have us rent this movie because the cover of the movie on the VHS was Tom Arnold is stupid. And I'm like, we need to watch this. And they were like, you suck, and you're not allowed to pick up movies anymore.
Yeah, no, I would definitely veto. No,
I got vetoed many times. I kind of have a fondness for shitty movies, I
guess a bunch of my friends for shitty movies without realizing they're shitty.
Well, I have a fondness for shitty movies with full awareness that they're shitty, but like my friends that I was hanging out with at the time did not have that same fondness. I've only had half a beer.
This is what you get.
I didn't have lunch probably. That may have been it.
Maybe. I was gonna say you were gonna do the whole show by yourself.
I couldn't do that. I like that's what that I keep on sucking Bill Burr's dick, but like I don't know how he does it. Like a lot of the time, like, you know, occasionally he'll have his wife on or like, you know, but he has a lot more feedback from the audience. I mean, you know, we have some emails this week.
Right.
Spoilers. We have some emails this week. And so that helps us out a little bit.
Right, and that would help you out if you were on your own.
Yeah, so he has, like, you know, he has the people that ask him the questions, and then, you know, and that gives him a little bit of material to work with for at least half the show. Right. And usually he's just talking about his New England Patriots and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Which we do as well. Although last week we didn't do our bit.
We didn't do our bit. Yeah. Is that why they lost?
It might have been why we lost last week.
That might have been. How does Bill Burr's cock taste?
It was metaphorical, not literal.
I mean, okay. How does it taste metaphorically?
Stop.
The heavy sighs on this episode, they're just they're coming fast and loose.
Okay, so they
American Ultra,
Max Landis.
Okay.
It didn't do so well in the theaters when it came out. It actually did worse than movies that were lower rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
It actually did a lot worse than those movies, which it's understandable because like I think American Ultra was rated R. There's a lot of crazy violence, so you're gonna
kids
lose
will
the
see
kid.
Shitty movies all the time. Adults are a little bit less.
No, I think it's just that you can't. If it's rated R, you're losing a great portion of the audience.
Like kids will go out, like anybody who can see like up to PG-13, they'll go and see shitty movies all the live long day. But
adults are a little bit more.
The adults are like, it costs $20.
Discriminating. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So and so Max was just like, he went on Twitter and he had like a little bit of a
meltdown.
Not necessarily. Well, it could have been considered a meltdown, but he like just was like mad at. He wasn't mad at the audiences. He was mad at like, you know, distributors and whatnot for not like, or not necessarily the distributors, but the marketing of the film. So people maybe knew a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I feel like I've heard of it, but
I saw a couple of trailers for it. But like, I think one of the problems is a lot of people don't like Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, no.
I don't think, but he was the screenwriter for, like, Max Landis was a screenwriter. And so he basically went on a tirade about how, like, if it doesn't have Star Wars or Jurassic Park or whatever.
Or Marvel at the front of it.
Or Marvel, like some sort of something, like saying, hey, this is something that exists already. Or this is a reboot, or this is whatever.
Right.
Because he like the movie lost to the Fantastic Four shitty movie.
Yeah.
That no one saw. And like, so he was like, okay, we have this like new idea that's sort of, well, you know, it's sort of fresh. It's, you know, but a guy that's like a secret agent only when he's stoned, whatever. I think that was the I mean, and so like he went on a little tirade and they talked about it a little bit. And then he's actually a fan of theirs apparently. So they had him on for an interview.
Yeah.
Like to talk about things. And it was pretty interesting. I won't, you know, regurgitate what they said if you want to go to their website or their
I might even put it in the show notes.
YouTube channel and maybe check out that whole stuff that they talked about because it's pretty interesting and, you know, those guys are pretty fucking funny anyways.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The was it Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg? Okay. Yeah, and so one of the movies that I threw out there, I think they were in Adventureland together. Was one of the
yes, also. I actually liked that movie, but I think
they seem to like each other. So like that
the thing that I didn't like about that movie was her. I did not buy her Well, it was not that I didn't buy her as her character. It was just that I didn't like her.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like me. They just don't like her in general. They find that she's not a great actress.
I gotta say, like, I haven't seen her in that many things.
I mean, I actually it was with riff tracks on. Okay. But I saw the first two Twilight movies.
Oh, really? How? I don't even know if I want to ask.
And it's just a lot of just like teen girls staring off into.
Okay.
And I'm like, this isn't something that I want to watch.
Yeah. I'm pick up my phone here because there is a Kristen Stewart thing that I've seen that I did like, and I wanted to get the title, but it's coming up.
It's escaping me right now.
Yeah, no, there was a few years ago, iTunes put out this series of I think Glamour magazine might have been the backer of all of these, but iTunes put out this series of 4 or 5 short films that were screenwritten and or directed by women in Hollywood, and sometimes people that you hadn't seen things directed by. This one that I'm thinking of was directed by Kate Hudson, and Kristen Stewart was in it, and it was great. It was I think it's a Cadillac 57 or some damn thing. But it was like only 10 minutes of Kristen Stewart. So in that case, maybe that's what makes it. And she wasn't even.
She wasn't the love interest.
No, I mean she was kind of the lead, but it was a multiple point of view thing. That might have been part of why it grabbed me, because that's my particular area of interest. But in small doses, it seems like I can tolerate her. But I haven't seen Adventureland. That was one of the ones I wanted to see.
It has Martin Starr, who I really like. It has some other folks that were good.
Yeah. Why do you think so? I mean, is it just Twilight that makes people not like her?
No, I think Twilight is what keeps on getting. This is the reason why she keeps on getting work.
Yeah, Twilight is the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, yeah, I mean, like she was in. They were blockbusters because teen girls and their moms that were into sort of religious undertone, vampire, werewolf, romance, drama, whatever the hell I want to say genre it is.
Genre.
They cleaned up with those movies. I still think I'm low. I'm like
I will adjust it. I yes, but other than you just really getting right up on it, I don't think.
You are really loud.
Well, see, here's the thing.
How do you turn yourself down?
I need in post I tend to turn myself down. I want to see. I can try to
talking shop.
I can try to turn it down right there, but then I don't really want to do that because the trouble is when I go back in, I have to adjust. So this is like too much inside baseball, right?
Yeah, let's just stop talking about it.
Yeah. So anyway, Steve's mic is lower than mine, and I adjust in post.
Why am I so low in the mix? God damn it!
I don't know.
That was louder.
That was louder. Yeah, if you get right up on it, it definitely.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just made everybody in the audience wet or hard.
That's your job, isn't it?
Yes, I guess.
I mean, if I'm the straight man, you're the.
I'm not. That's not what the. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So, Kristen Stewart.
Okay, we're done with Kristen Stewart. We don't need to talk about her anymore.
Yeah. So that's what you've been watching. It's Kristen Stewart movies.
No.
I
didn't watch that movie. I only watched the thing about the movie.
About the movie, okay. I couldn't remember how we got on.
I, like most of America, did not see American Ultra.
Yeah.
Or the Fantastic Four movie.
I did not see it either.
Or something else.
I did watch the first 2 Fantastic Four movies.
I remember I've seen both of those as well.
Yeah.
The second one I saw at Chunky's and I was hammered. Like, because we went out before and and then we got like pictures and it was just like, oh no. That was a weird night. Because we went out for like martinis and I don't even know about that. That was a weird fucking night.
See, Chris Evans, who played the Human Torch in those movies, it seemed to me at that time he was going to be one of those people like Kristen Stewart that I was never gonna like. So a couple of years later, when he was done with those movies and they cast him as Captain America in the
which is weird to me. Like, there's like he was a superhero, and you're going to also be a superhero.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the idea
of two superheroes that should be in the same universe.
They should be in the same universe, yeah. But then when he played Captain America, I think he plays Captain America really well. I still have yet to see, I think it was Snowpiercer was the one he did in between like Captain America Avengers movies that was supposedly really good. And he's a local kid. So
yeah, my old landlord / roommate in Marlboro went to high school with him.
Yeah, and I think I've said before, I might very well have seen him at some point in the mid '90s in a production of The Pirates of Penzance at a theater summer camp that a friend of a friend of mine was attending at the time. I'm not 100% sure, but I've been told this. Anyway, so like Evans seems to me like the type of person that was going to be like Kristen Stewart. He's going to be like the male Kristen Stewart, but it turned out not so much.
He turned it around.
He turned it around.
I don't think Kristen Stewart can turn it around because I think her personality and just her acting style is detrimental to people like me liking her.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be good for other people. I don't know.
Speaking
people
of
that loved American Ultra
or loved them some Twilight. Chris Evans was so speaking of Chris Evans and Captain America, I don't know if we talked about this last time. There's a new trailer for Captain America Civil War, or the first trailer, not new trailer, but the first trailer came out for that. And that movie looks pretty good. I was waiting for that, and everyone was saying it wasn't going to come out until Star Wars came out. And maybe that's the first time you'll see it in like the big screen in the theater. But that came out, and that was pretty neat.
I am cautiously optimistic about this Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, because we've talked about it before. I mean, I went to see that damn episode 1.
Phantom Menace.
With you.
Yep.
And your brother. And it was so late. Or early, whichever way you want to look at it. Because it was definitely light out when we left the theater.
Yeah.
Because it was like maybe 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning show.
Yeah, and then by the time we got out, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was, and it was summertime, so it was like the sun was just coming up.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know if I liked that. And I had already bought tickets for opening day.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So right now, like I saw it a couple more times in that first day or so. And like I said before, I think I like shitty movies without realizing they're shitty movies. Of course, now I realize The Phantom Menace is a shitty movie, and I still kind of don't hate it as much as everyone else. But with this one, The Force Awakens, a friend of mine got us tickets to see it, I think Friday, like mid-morning. And that's the only ticket I have so far.
So we don't have any yet, so we're gonna have to wait until it's not sold out anymore.
Yeah.
But we kind of want to go to the IMAX at the Jordans.
Yeah, that would be
local for you.
Getting local for you.
I remember I saw Phantom Menace 3 times at the theaters.
I think I saw it at least 3 times. I don't know if I saw it more.
So the original time with you, the second time that we bought our tickets for opening day, and then the third time was we were up at Paul's parents' winter house. We all went up there, and they have a little movie theater in Littleton, New Hampshire.
Okay,
which is way the fuck up there.
Yes, it is.
It's pretty close to the border of Vermont, but because like Vermont and New Hampshire, if you're familiar with the Atlas, are like the 69ing states.
Yes.
And so it's sort of close to where the mouth of New Hampshire would be touching the dong of the mouth of Vermont would be touching the dong of New Hampshire.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, sure.
Which one's on top?
It doesn't matter.
They're side.
We'll just say they're gay states, and they both have cocks.
They both have cocks.
There's no pussies involved here. So yeah, we went to see it, and I think we were either drunk or on something else. Undetermined substance.
All right.
Let's just leave it
Fair
at that.
enough.
And me and my buddy Bill, there was the scene where they're in like the Jedi Council room.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's more than one of those scenes in the movie.
There's a couple.
Okay, so like,
is Anakin there or not there?
I don't know if he might have been there.
All right.
But there's a Jedi in the background with a giant like head.
Yes,
and he's like his head is swaying side to side, and he has a really long neck. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, in a sword fight, this guy is like really he's in trouble. Like, you have a really long neck and head that could easily get chopped off by a sword or I don't know. But like Bill and I were laughing at this fucking guy in this little teeny theater in Littleton, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
After we went to a diner or something like that.
See, so here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Lawrence Kasdan, screenwriter for The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Larry Kasdan was interviewed recently, and he talked about Star Wars being inherently silly, right? Star Wars is inherently silly, and the interviewer pressed him and kind of tried to get some more information on that. The idea was that if it doesn't realize that it's silly, I think this is what he was trying to get across. And this is what they're all trying to get across without actually insulting the prequels directly. They're all insulting the prequels indirectly. And I think his thing was that without saying it, he was suggesting that the prequels take themselves too seriously. And that what this new movie is going to do is acknowledge that there's a certain silliness to, a guy in a walking carpet standing next to a couple of robots, and that it's having fun with its silliness, as opposed to the prequels, which were trying, to be about politics and non-silly things, and ended up being really ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie for kids that's about space politics.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
If they're from a trade federation, why are they trying to blockade trade?
I've read a lot of different. I don't know if it was from an Entertainment Weekly, because there was a lot of the Captain America was like the cover story at Entertainment Weekly this week, and there were a lot of those I read the other day. I think there might have been a similar thing with the Star Wars stories. So whether it was Larry Kasdan or various people, they all dance around the subject of the prequels. Like at one point, somebody was like, well, the prequels don't actually change any of the story that took place in 4, 5, and 6 in the original trilogy. So we really don't have to acknowledge them one way or the other.
Well, they do remind us about important things like midichlorians and how you can just test somebody's blood and see if they're Jedi or not.
Yeah.
And not just, whatever.
I am cautiously optimistic for these movies too, and part of it is the stuff that
you can also test somebody's blood to see if they have HIV. It's AIDS month.
I've just been reading a bunch of papers on Angels in America, which is about partially about the AIDS crisis in the 1980s. So the fact that you're talking to me about HIV, I'm like, am I having a stroke? Like, I'm on the podcast with Steve,
smell
right?
Something weird? Oh wait, that was a fart from me. Never mind.
It's like I'm on the podcast with Steve and not grading papers right now, right? Because that's what I've spent the last few days doing when I wasn't arguing with my computer about EPUBs. Was grading papers.
EPUBs?
EPUBs.
Is this like you can go online and drink like with friends or something?
That would be so much better than what it actually is.
Oh.
And I'm not...
it's like an e-publisher, not an e-public house.
Yeah, a .epub is the format that everything except for the Kindle uses for ebooks. And they are a pain in the ass to create. No, I'll leave it at that.
Neat.
But yeah, no, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think because of the interviews that have come out, a lot of the interviews, like the morning talk show stuff, I think it's mostly been on Good Morning America, which is owned by ABC, which is owned by Disney. Star Wars also owned by Disney. Nobody's seen the film except for the cast. So most of the interviews are kind of seem to focus on tone and approach. And I'm getting the vibe that everyone trusts Abrams and that he's done a good job. That he brought on the guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I think is a.
Well, Return of the Jedi was a bunch of fucking Muppets.
It's not a bunch of.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's not a bunch of Muppets. It's one of those things. I think having been a huge Kevin Smith fan for so long, that line in Clerks always grated on me because I think I'd step back and think about it, and I'm like, no, it's a bunch of. What the hell is the actual? I mean, midgets is what we used to say. Short people. Height challenge.
Little people is what we are supposed to call.
Okay, so little people is good.
Not midgies.
Little people is what I always think.
Those
I'm
are
gonna say,
pickles.
and then what Jedi had was a bunch of little people and children in bear costumes.
They didn't have pickles in costumes. Little pickles.
It had a couple of Muppets in the fucking beginning, but other than that, it did not have a bunch of Muppets.
Sweet pickles.
Randall has no idea what the fuck he's talking. Wait, is it Randall or Dante?
I think it's Randall that. Randall's more of a jerk,
no.
he might be.
Dante's the one that says it because Randall likes Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
And then I think. Because Dante.
Well, you're gonna have to watch the movie and come back to us next week.
Dante's the one who's all about how Empire is the better one because Luke gets his hand cut off, finds out Vader is his father.
Spoilers. What?
Han gets frozen carbonite taken away by Boba Fett. It's a down ending, and that's what life is—a series of down endings. All that Jedi had was a bunch of Muppets. See, it was Dante, whereas Randall is trying to talk about how Jedi is the better one, and then
they talk about the contractors working on the second Death
Yes,
Star.
they do. I won't try to do those lines.
No, don't. So I watched that show that you were watching.
Oh yes.
This is episode 71, another show where Steve and Chris talk about stuff they watched.
Hey, there are whole shows dedicated to that, and you've just been talking about one of them that you like. Like, isn't that the whole premise of that other show? Is that they watch stuff and talk about it?
Fine.
We're allowed to do that.
Yeah, sure. So I watched the first couple of episodes of Jessica Jones. Have you seen the whole thing?
Yes.
So Becky likes it. I am sort of indifferent about it. I don't have strong feelings either way.
Yeah.
I find it sort of boring. And I'm just gonna spoil a lot of things like Killjoy, Kilroy. I kept every time when we were watching it, and I think she was wicked annoyed with me. I would call him something different.
Kill Dick.
She'd be like, "It's Kilgrave," and I'm like, "Oh,
Kill Screen.
That's a great one." If we watch another episode, I'm gonna have to use that one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like this guy.
The actor David Tennant.
No, I don't like the villain. I don't like he has this power that can basically take over the world, and he's just using it to mess with people.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from. Have you talked with Becky about why she likes it as compared to you being bored by it?
No, we haven't gotten into it that much. Maybe.
So I'm not totally surprised to hear you say that you're bored with it. One of the criticisms that I've seen online is, and this is not. Well, let's step back for a second. I think this is a show that a lot more women that I know online, like everyone, a lot of people I know online like it. If there was any sort of imbalance, I think I'd say more women like it than men like it. Because
it's not that I don't like a female superhero or whatever. Well, she's more of an anti-hero than anything else.
Yes, and I'm only bringing all of that up to say that the person that I saw levy this particular criticism at it was a woman. So, and she said that she thought it could have been 9 episodes instead of 13.
Yeah, is it so?
It's 13.
Don't give me spoilers up to the point.
Yeah, because
I'm only spoiling things for.
Well, because Becky's watching it.
Yeah,
she
I don't want
to the show. I don't want to spoil it for her. I don't think that's
why I stopped you.
Yeah, it's not a completely invalid criticism to say that it could be 9 episodes. I just generally think most TV shows could be shorter. I think when I heard that criticism, I was probably 9 episodes in, and it definitely has its moments where certain stories seem to stretch out for a little bit longer than you might think.
See, the thing is, I think this whole Kilgore arc could have ended in the amount of episodes we've already watched, and then it could move on to another smaller story arc instead of just
without spoil.
Don't even say it.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, it's just I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sick of like, oh, this guy just says do this and he does it, and then like, oh, we have to find him, and then there's a support group now, and then blah blah blah. I'm like, shut up.
What I found was
Why is this guy allowing this shit to happen? Why, like, he could easily just not allow it to happen, to be like, support group, go jump off the George Washington Bridge, and then like they're all dead, hooray, the end.
what I found, what I found is each time I thought maybe it was going on a little bit too long, something would happen in that episode where I was like, oh, this is dragging, to make me reconsider it.
But the thing is, like, as much as I'm annoyed by it, I'm sort of invested all at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's worth getting through all 13. I think it's a damn good show. I think it's a more even show than Daredevil, which preceded it, which is also really good. But Daredevil feels even more to me like it's stretched a little too thin, especially at the end. Daredevil ends kind of weak. This, I feel like, it does have its moments where Jessica Jones has its moments where it feels like it's going a little too long. But by the end of it, I was really intrigued.
I mean, I say this, saying that the pacing is bad, and I also watched the One Piece anime, which at this point in the series is probably one of the worst paced things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I just want to, because the voice actor, the Japanese voice actors, I think are great, and they do a good performance every time they, they do stuff. So I like watching the anime still instead of just reading the manga. But it's just like, sometimes the episode's like, because basically what they try to do is one episode per one chapter.
Right.
And if it's a chapter that really moves quickly, that you're like, whoa, that blew past, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. Like, that's perfect for that sort of style of one chapter per episode. But like, there's chapters where not a lot happens,
right.
And you're trying to stretch that out, and it's just. I'd personally rather, but in a long story arc, which is where the current place in the anime is, you can't really have just like random filler episodes because you have no time in between of story arcs. So they had an opportunity to put a little bit more filler in between arcs, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the filler that was in between the arcs that already was great, but whatever.
Yeah. See, we've talked about it. I don't like network television shows for the most part for two reasons. One, because of
you don't watch Gotham?
Because of what the networks.
I actually like it. So
because of the network's I'd love. Actually, that would be good. Let me get off my. I'll get on my soapbox for like 10 seconds, and then maybe you can tell me about Gotham. Because what the networks are trying to do is sell ads. Like, that's their business. They got to sell ads, and they want to have popular programs around that are easier to sell ads on. So they stretch out these popular programs over way too much time. So those are the two primary reasons that I don't like network TV. One, the ad breaks break up the whole flow of things. Some shows have worked around that as they have started to realize more people are eventually going to watch these on Netflix or wherever,
or Hulu or wherever else.
So the ad breaks break up the narrative flow, and then the second thing is that they're stretched out over too much time.
But the thing is, episodes of television, like either an hour-long show or a half an hour show. I mean, back in the day, I've been watching The Simpsons since
1989.
Or was it 90 that it started, or was it 89?
I feel like I feel like it's a show that started in like 89, but I feel like
I think it was actually it was. I think it might have been the Christmas season of 1989. That was that first, like, the Simpsons Christmas special.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but anyway, go ahead.
Which was the first episode, and I've been watching it since then. And back then, like, the episodes were approximately, I think, 24 minutes long for a half an hour show.
Yeah.
So that means there's 6 minutes of ads, and I think there's 2 ad breaks during the show. So that means there's 3 minutes of ads in each of those.
Yeah.
But now I think it's shows are about 22 minutes.
Yeah,
so
that sounds about right.
I think there might be. I think they still have the 2 ad breaks, and so that's 8 minutes of commercials. So I think if you watch network television now, you're just watching like 2 whole minutes more ads
than you were 20 years ago. Yeah. It's yeah. But here's the other thing is that like the Netflix series and the HBO series and the whatever, if I can't get invested in them like from the ground up, I find I have a very hard time and this is partly my attention span, partly my inability to like relax for long enough to get into anything. But like I was watching this what the hell was it? Turn. It was an AMC show set in this Revolutionary War.
Are you into the Badlands? Because apparently they really want me to be into that show. Every time we watch The Walking Dead, it's like, into the Badlands. You could tune in to Into the Badlands at this show. Into the Badlands.
I heard that premiered on the same night as something. What the hell else was it?
There was something else that you wanted to watch, but I forgot what the hell it was.
I totally forgot what that
But it just, I don't, like it's one of those, I don't know if it's the contrarian in me, but if somebody like tries to shove things in my face a lot, I'm like, yeah, I don't want that.
Right, yeah.
At all. Like, even if it's something that I might really enjoy, if you show it to me too many times, like, I really don't want... Like, I don't want a Capital One Venture card, because even though I can go onto my phone and use the app and sure swipe technology, I don't fucking want to. This is anti-ads.
I hate ads. I mean, I
can't wait till we ever, like, at some point when we get advertisers, I'll have to do the
You'll
ad
have to
copy.
do it.
Even though I'm that means I'm only slightly less cynical than you.
I was sitting there yesterday playing, like, I love this game, Pac-Man 256. Is it 256? Yeah. I always want to say 265, but Pac-Man 256. Love this game. Played a lot. I accidentally hit a button yesterday that was above the button I usually hit.
And you clicked on an ad.
And I clicked on an ad. And there was no way to quit out of it. And I tried to quit out, like left the game and came back, and ad still playing.
I think you should definitely watch this season of South Park.
Oh my God. Like, I hate.
You need to watch this season of South Park. Like, it's like, with your opinion on ads.
Yeah.
I think, especially the last couple of episodes.
But don't they have ads all throughout them? I watched them online, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, watched it online on Hulu or whatever. But like, watch this season, because it has a lot of like, the last couple of seasons of South Park have been really great. Because the way they have been their own stories as far as the episodes go.
Yeah,
but they're more connected to what is happening in the season.
Got it.
And so, like, there's just like an overall story arc that's going, but it's not directly related to each of the stories that's happening.
Got it.
At a time, but like they're all just like pieces of a puzzle of a bigger story.
Did they stop killing Kenny on that show a long time ago? That makes me sad.
No, it's better because of it.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but that was one of the when I still watched it. That was the thing.
It was a gimmick, and like they realized it after a while, and then they at one point they decided to kill him off completely. And they just like were like, oh, let's replace their friend. Then like that was good, and that was around the time where I really like started liking South Park again.
Okay,
and it's gone in ebbs and waves,
right.
with South Park and me, and like what they're doing right now is really great.
Okay,
and they have like a very short show turnaround. And so they can...
Yeah, that's what I always was impressed with about them, was that they could be even more topical than The Simpsons might be.
Yeah, because they can animate something in less than a week.
Right.
And get a show out. Well, I think they have... I mean, there's certain amounts of the story that are
set in stone.
And then like they probably already have like set like done, but there's also stuff that can be topical.
Right. Yeah, I did
that. They do like very last minute. Like I think I watched a documentary on it once, and like they're submitting their episodes to Comedy Central like almost like on Tuesday.
And it comes out on
Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like, "Here's the episode."
Don't have a lot of time to do anything about it.
If you want to, tear this apart, then yeah.
What else? Oh well. So, oh wow, we're at like 50 minutes.
I told
already.
you, like we don't need to necessarily have a long list because we didn't get to half of what we talked about.
We got to get to the emails, but I did want to say that in light of me talking once again about how I won't try new things. I mean, I didn't really talk about that this time, but it was sort of behind the scenes here. I did finally watch something that everyone had been telling me to watch. I watched last night, The Cabin in the Woods.
I liked that movie. It took me by surprise.
Yeah, well,
I thought it was going to be another Evil Dead.
Yeah, I didn't know. So I was working last night. It was getting late. Everyone had gone to bed.
If you haven't seen this movie yet, go fucking watch it.
You should watch it.
Don't listen to the next minute or two.
Yeah.
Of this.
So I was like, all right, I am gonna sit. I have two movies that are in my iTunes library. That I had left to watch that I'd never watched. It was that one and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I got for Christmas from my friend John a couple years ago. And I'm sorry, John, if you're out there listening. I do.
Oh, don't worry, he's probably not.
I do want to watch it, but I was like, all right, let me see what this one is about. It's only an hour and a half long. The Cabin in the Woods. So I watched the two trailers.
Why did you watch the trailers?
Because I wanted to remind myself what the heck it was about.
But the thing is, the trailers are completely deceiving.
Yes, they are completely deceiving, and that was that. But see that.
But I like that.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like part of the experience was, because this is what I'd heard from people, was that they went in expecting one thing and got something else. Well, I just had it sitting there on my screen, and I didn't have any recollection of what I was expecting.
Or what you wanted to expect. Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm going to watch the trailers because I want to have the experience everyone else did of I'm expecting one thing and I get something else, and I did. Yeah. It was wow. That's quite the flick. I didn't know what to.
It was really interesting. It was really it took a trope and was like, oh well, you want this to happen. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Then
I had no idea what I was in for. What I did, I was doing some. I watched the documentary that came with it afterwards, and I was doing some IMDbing. The guy who directed that, Drew Goddard, was the showrunner for the first season of Daredevil to bring it back. So
holy shit!
Yeah,
that's great. We didn't even actually give any spoilers away.
yeah, no, we didn't.
But watch Cabin in the Woods. It's an interesting flick.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have horror elements. Don't get me wrong.
absolutely. It's just that it goes off in a different direction.
Yeah, it goes off in a completely different direction than what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Unless you aren't expecting anything.
Right.
If you're expecting an Evil Dead type film, which I love Evil Dead, then you're not going to get that. But you're going to get something different and interesting and also good.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go back and now watch it again for the first time. I think if you have not seen any of the ads and you don't go in expecting anything, you would also have a good time.
Yeah, it's still a good movie, but like go in with the expectation because then have it dashed is better.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have a couple of.
See,
we have a couple of emails. But we also got some tweets this week. I just want to like shout out to the tweet. Was it Matt who sent us?
No, it was Brian that sent.
It was Brian. Yeah, thank you, Brian, for sending a response to me being called the most beautiful. No, the
hottest
guy in the room. Brian sent us a link to the most beautiful girl in the room
from the Flight of the Conchords.
From Flight of the Conchords, which is another thing that I think I've been told I need to watch, but I have not. But now after having seen this, I was like, yeah, I think I need to.
It's like there's sometimes when people are like, a lot of people don't like Weird Al because he makes funny songs, but like these guys, they make funny songs and they're funny and cool and whatever else.
It was I watched it yesterday afternoon and it was a good time. All right, so there's two emails aside from that, both of them referring to slightly older episodes, not last week's episode.
Some people we have to realize this is not something that people listen to live.
That is the whole beauty of podcasting.
Yes, so people can be a couple of episodes behind, and it'll be fine. So we got an episode, or we got an email from
We got an email from Whitey Ford.
We
got an email from Whitey Ford. It says, big up to Hot is the subject. This was on November 29th. It says, hey guys.
I didn't know he listened. That's great.
I didn't know either. It says, hey guys, it's Whitey, a.k.a. Everlast. Chris, apology accepted.
I don't know what you said.
I don't know what I said either. Thank you. Steve, I am loving your TNS stuff, man. Maybe we can collaborate in the future. Ever thought of putting a little rap/rock in your hot pants?
Yeah, we did that on the second album. It really went over gangbusters.
Big ups to my horribly off-topic crew, and Brian, you are a punk bitch. Whitey.
Okay, so how is it that Whitey Ford is zinging Brian too?
I don't know.
Sorry about that, Brian. I didn't know he was going to say that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's and that just after we thanked Brian, right?
So we got an email from Matt.
We got an email from Matt. This is subject Epilepsy 69.
So he's talking about the episode 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago, episode 69.
We're talking about sexy stuffs.
I haven't listened all the way through. This is Matt. But am glad you tackled...
Why would he write an email halfway through the podcast?
I don't know. I haven't listened.
Matt, what is fucking wrong with you?
But am glad you tackled this issue. In an effort to overanalyze, misspelled on purpose, Stevie's joke.
I don't like it when he calls me Stevie. Let's just get that. Oh, wait, why did I say that? Because he's going to do it every time now.
I think it is weird that one gets shit on their nose while 69ing. If you are focusing your attention on the same spots as one would while preforming cunnilingus, one could assume that you would have shit on your chin all those times too. I'm trying to...
Well, it depends on how much shit...
Okay, so wait. I'm putting my chin up to the... I don't know.
Well, it depends on how close the asshole is to the vagina.
That's true.
And it depends on how filled with shit it is. Continue.
Size factors of each participant aside, it is my thought that girl on top is necessary due to a few factors. Number 1, balls plus gravity. If a guy is on top, he may suffocate his partner when his balls drop over their nose while their mouth is choking down on some girthy Stevie cock.
Why is it my cock?
I don't know.
And it's not girthy. I'm sorry.
It's not girly?
Girthy.
Girthy. Oh.
Well, it has, I don't know. It's whatever. It's decent sized, I guess.
Don't be so
I
hard.
haven't had an alarming amount of complaints.
Number 2, the natural reaction to plunge forward when a guy is on top could lead to choking and or teeth-induced trauma.
Ugh, yeah, no.
Yeah. I think among all parties involved, gay/straight/other, most people would prefer the laziest, most comfortable position available, bottom. Maybe all partners laying on their sides during mutual oral-driven stimulation exercises could be the key to comfortable, ecstasy-ridden convulsions for all.
Bugs.
Was that an ecstasy-ridden convulsion?
No, that was me burping.
That was you burping. There was no passion involved, no pleasure involved in the burping experience. What happens if you burp during a 69?
You burp into a vagina.
Or what? Like if the person has a cock in their mouth and they burp. I mean, like,
I don't know. Maybe that's good.
Maybe. You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/71. And if you want to send us an email like Matt and Whitey just did, you can send that email to hot@clarkwoods.com.
How far has he fallen that he's emailing our show?
I don't know. Not as far as Scott Weiland.
He died. Why do you gotta fucking do that?
I do feel really terrible.
That was really drug-ridden.
He was. It was really sad.
The man loved drugs.
He did. Well, and he didn't like the drugs.
He died doing what he loved. Drugs.
Is that what he... I thought he died. He died on the bus, but I don't know how he...
He died doing what he loved, being on the bus.
Being on the bus. Yeah, no, it's definitely an underappreciated...
Well, apparently heaven needed a ... We can't just end the show there, but
no,
that's what people say, and it fucking bugs me. And
yeah, these are the same people that send their thoughts and prayers.
That's what you fucking say. Because what else are you supposed to say? Like, if someone dies, you're just like, oh, because you feel bad for the person because you obviously Well, if it's a person you do care about,
Yeah.
you feel bad for them because
I was making a reference to another area in which people offer their thoughts and prayers. Not when one person has died, but when many people have died.
yes.
Thoughts and prayers when a person has died, whether it's of heroin or something else. I think that is perfectly acceptable.
I think more people should just do heroin. Am I nuts? Yes. Yes. Let me answer the question for you. Yes. I think everybody's like pushing for pot to be legal. Let's push for heroin to be legal.
Let's push for it all to be legal, man.
I don't know. Some of these, like cocaine is dangerous.
Yeah.
And you do stupid things. Well, I've never done cocaine, but people do stupid things on cocaine.
Yes, like invent crack.
Like crack is like cocaine.
Why would anybody need crack? Why would anybody need
crack? Is like cocaine on crack.
Yes. Why was there anybody that where cocaine wasn't good enough for them?
I'm sure there's
butchering the goddamn bit.
Well, who was that?
That is Dennis Leary.
Okay.
He's like, I would never do crack. I would never do crack. I would never do a drug named after part of my own ass. Kind of a personal guideline, if you know what I'm saying. If you don't want to send us email, if that's too old school for you, you can send us a message on the Twitter. I am at ECC1977.
I heard that I'm just continuing this.
Continue.
I heard I keep on seeing I was sitting here on the couch,
yes,
pointing to it. Mm-hmm. Can't see it in the audience, but whatever. And Becky was looking at Facebook, and I kept on every time I see an article on millennials, it's millennials are shitty because we should be happy that we are Gen Xers.
Yes,
because apparently everyone hates millennials.
Yes, everyone. Yes. Everyone hates millennials. Everyone's forgotten about us though, just the way they forgot about Dre. I mean, they shouldn't forget about us, but. That's the thing. In these conversations,
no one forgot about Dre. He's still around. He's a massive
lyric. Don't forget about Dre, or you forgot about Dre. Something like that. Here's the thing,
Rich
when
Ross.
when my uncle and my dad decide to get into it with me about how our generation doesn't care about
well, we are apathetic. Don't get me wrong.
We are apathetic. I'm not saying that we aren't apathetic, but there's so much attention paid to the generation after us, and there's so much attention paid to our parents' generation that we are kind of this
we are the
there
forgotten
are the
middle
baby
child.
boomers, and there's the millennials, and they didn't have a fucking name for us. They're those fuckers, the Generation X. No.
Brand X detergent.
If you can find a Brand X detergent song on the internet, you win a prize.
All right, so my Twitter is at Tuesday is
Brand
Loser.
X detergent.
Fuck you! You interrupted my plug.
Sorry, go ahead.
My Twitter is at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser, all one word.
I can't believe you brought up my old band, man. Brand X detergent.
Paper towel.
Or Sigma 6 or Soma or Diet Soma.
Soma. I remember Soma.
Yeah, Soma Riot for
I remember
30
watching a video of stuff that Paul taped when he was in Japan, in John Martin's house while you guys were playing music downstairs, and where we're supposed to be watching you guys play music downstairs.
I wrote a short story about that.
Really?
There's a short story about that where it's happening in the middle of a show, and two people go upstairs to hook up, and they walk right past a bunch of kids sitting in what is essentially, without me saying it, John's living room. It's essentially John's living room, and they're watching Takeshi's Castle. I think it's Takeshi's Castle.
The one that was Don't Get Eliminated.
I think that's what all I remember about it was that there was somebody running across a balance beam, having balls shot at them.
Yeah, that was most, in the American version, it was Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Got it. Balls.
You're full of balls.
You're full of balls.
Shut up.